now joining us to go all out on this story is none other than Philippine women's national football team head coach Allen Stajcic, and he joins us live from India via Zoom. Coach, good morning. Welcome to the show. I think it's your first time here joining us on CNN Philippines.
Yeah, good morning, Andre. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. I've been wanting to talk to you. I don't know if Sedel Tupas has been trying to set that up, but thank you to Sedel for finally setting this one up.
He's got to do something. He can't just come here on a junket, can
he? Coach, first of all, congratulations. Congratulations to you and the team. Amazing. We still have a lot to talk about, but a lot of people were pleasantly surprised by this milestone, and understandably so. But what about you, Coach? Really, did you expect, coming in, when they tapped you to be the head coach of this particular women's team, did you expect right away that, this would come sooner or later, that you would be getting this Philippine women's team a World Cup berth?
Look, you never know what you're going to get when you start out, but certainly that was the goal from day one. And when we set that goal as a group, it wasn't just my goal. It was a goal from the whole playing group. And when you set a goal, you have a target and something you want to achieve. And yeah, if we didn't have that goal, what are you striving for? So the players set about sacrificing everything in their lives for the last 3 months to ensure we give ourselves every possible opportunity. And sometimes you achieve your goals and sometimes you don't, but certainly we raised the bar of expectations, not only of ourselves, but the whole Philippines football fraternity.
Yes, I was talking to two of your players yesterday, Cam and Ina, and that's what they were also saying, that you really raised something. You changed that culture of this team, the way they think about the sport, about the game, about themselves. I want to go back as we take a look at the highlights here. Olivia McDaniel, also props to her, great keeper. We'll be talking about her as well. But the first thing that came into your mind when Serena Bolden kicked in that game-winning penalty, I know it must have been, relieving as well after full time, 2 extra time, and then a shootout. But what was going through your mind, Coach?
Yeah, look, the first thing that was going through my mind was as she was taking the penalty, how brave she was to want to step up and take another one. She missed one in the game before, and everyone knows in the game of football, that's really the only part of the game where you win or lose in that actual moment. And for her to have the courage to step up and take that penalty is immense just to start off with. But when she went up and hit it sweetly and showed the positivity and belief, you mentioned that word, belief in herself that she can do it, it really was an amazing feeling for everyone. You just know what a catalyst it can be for change. Not only do you lift the bar for each individual within the group, but now there's definitely accountability now on the Philippines Football Federation, on all the fans back home in the Philippines, on all young kids to really embrace this team, really give them every possible opportunity to show their best side and be on the front foot when we get to the World Cup in 18 months' time.
That was a crazy game, Coach. 120 minutes, I believe, plus the shootout. Was there any doubt in your mind that you were going to lose to this team, to Chinese Taipei? Or did you, right from the get-go, we know we could beat this team?
Yeah, look, when the game started, I actually thought we were the better team. After 5 or 10 minutes, I felt like we were the team that was on the front foot. I felt like we were the team that was dominating the game. But we know in football that doesn't mean you win. You got to do more than that to win a game. But we certainly were the dominant team. We finally capitalised on one of our half chances in the second half. And I really thought we were going to hang on. Chinese Taipei fought back when they were 1-0 down, and we sort of allowed them to get back into the game, which is something that we need to work on in terms of our game management and experience. But I thought we were the better team all the way through. But obviously when they had the winning kick for the last penalty and it's down to them scoring or not to go through. It was a moment where you thought, I can't believe we let this one go, and really we're going to need to refocus for the next one. But Olivia produced 2 fantastic saves at that moment to give us the opportunity to go winning kick.
I think, I think you're just downplaying everything. You planned everything, coach. You had to lead in this match 1-0, and then you had to make them goal 1-1, and then put them to extra time, and then the dramatic finish for the shootout. I'm kidding.
Look, if I planned it, we would have won 4-0, and I would have been, I would have been leaning on the side of the bench with a big grin on my face. But yeah, it didn't play out that way.
It's like a movie, coach. All in all, Coach Allen, the swag, and I've been saying this, we've been saying this, the swagger of this team in the Asian Cup has been evident, and it has been different compared to previous tournaments. Where do you think that comes from, Coach? What do you tell them?
Belief and confidence are a funny thing. They really come from things that happen that are real. I see so many athletes that have a false bravado and talk a lot of hype really sometimes, but when it's built on real things, when you've worked hard for that moment, when you've worked hard to deserve to give yourself an opportunity to be successful, then that's real belief. And it really came for me in that moment against Thailand when we beat them. Talk is important, but talk can also be cheap. But when you actually go out and perform and can outplay someone that you've never beaten before in history, then that becomes real. And that's where that real confidence and real belief to know that you can achieve at this level and possibly even the next level comes from.
Well, we'll take a quick break, Coach. I've been congratulating you. I also want to say thank you for giving the whole Philippines. This is something to celebrate about. Coach, stay where you are. Grab a glass of water. Don't talk to Sadolf yet. But we'll still have a lot to talk about. Philippine women's football team coach Allen Stajcic will still be with us after the break. And we'll talk about the national team's preparations for their next opponent in the AFC Women's Asian Cup, which is South Korea. And we still have with us today Philippine women's national football team head coach Allen Stajcic. And in case you're just joining us, Coach Allen, I don't know if you heard, I don't know if any Filipino hasn't heard yet that he steered the team to its maiden FIFA Women's World Cup berth. I think everyone in the country has heard that. Coach, again, thank you for steering the Philippines to this feat and to the whole team. The Philippines has played 4 games into the Asian Cup. Coach, what's your assessment so far of the team's performance, and what do you hope to address heading into your semis match against a powerhouse like South Korea? First, your assessment, Coach.
Yeah, it still sounds good, doesn't it? Qualifying for the World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Still
still
sounds amazing. Doesn't matter how many times you say it.
Yes, yes.
My assessment is, look, we've played 4 matches now, so 8 different halves of football. And in 6 of those halves, we haven't conceded a goal. And that's truly, really at this level, an amazing level of performance and consistency to show that shows that we can be a really difficult team to beat. And even in the extra time, the extra 30 minutes, we limited Chinese Taipei to very, very few chances and half chances at that. So I think we've proven that we can be a very, very difficult team to beat. I think the next level of improvement and involvement for this group will be what we do with the ball and how can we become a really dominant team with the ball as well. I think we've done okay with the ball, but certainly I think that's the biggest part of the game that we have left to improve moving into the next 18 months into the World Cup.
Realistically, Coach, do you see this team landing on the podium in the Asian Cup? I also asked Ina and Cam this yesterday. I know, and Sadolf and I have been talking that the mission is not yet finished there at the Asian Cup, but, goal accomplished. We've reached what we really wanted, which is to qualify for the World Cup. But how about you, Coach? Do you still see this team is still that the target to land on the podium of the Asian Cup?
Yeah, funny you asked that question. We actually had a discussion about that last night about resetting the goals, and we're about to have a team meeting this morning just to discuss all those issues. Really, it can't just come from me. It can't just be a coach-driven aspect of everyone's mentality. It really has to be a group buy-in, and what do we all want to achieve together as a group? We got an important match against South Korea, extremely tough opponent who beat Australia the other day, who were probably the favourites for the tournament. So, look, it's a difficult challenge in terms of mindset. Are we going to say that that's enough, or are we going to push ahead and really strive and go that one step forward and one massive step forward to try and beat one of the superpowers of Asian football? So, a lot to talk about in the next day or two with a group and really resetting that mentality and that focus for this next match.
Coach, before we keep this conversation going, I'm really having a great time chatting with you. First, let's find out the answer to our quiz question of the day. Again, the question was, who are the top 3 international goal scorers in the current lineup of the Philippine women's football team? Any guesses, Coach? I always ask my guests about the answers. Go ahead, if you know the answers, Coach.
Serena Bolden has to be in there surely somewhere.
She has to be there, right? Who are you? So your guesses are Serena.
Tane Annis hasn't played many matches, but she's certainly scored a few goals, so she'd have to be up there. Number 3.
How about your captain?
That's a tough one.
How about your captain?
Yeah, I said Tane.
Oh, Tane.
Annie.
Tane, okay.
Yeah, I said her. Yeah, I don't know who number 3 would be.
You know
Quinley,
what, Coach?
Quinley.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Quinley. Coach, you know what? I was just looking at the answers, but your guesses are as good as mine. But the correct answers are actually Ali Long with 11 international goals. Then you have Sarah Castañeda and Kinley. You mentioned Quinley Quesada with 10 goals apiece. So yes, those are the correct answers, Coach. On a more
bit of a worry when our centre backs are leading goal scorers, so we've got a few things to address.
Coach, I love your humor, by the way. On a more personal note, the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup will take place in your home country. I know it's a bit personal for you, and you know you have a lot of experiences there in Australia, both professionally and personally. Talk about that homecoming for you, Coach Allen.
Yeah, look, it'll be an amazing event for everyone. It's really a game-changing event for Australia as well. Women's football in the last 5 years back home in Australia has really gone from being, really a minor sport and having sort of minor infiltration into mainstream media to becoming probably one of the biggest sports in the country. And people like Sam Kerr and the Matildas have driven the sport.
Yeah.
To really the front pages and the back pages of sports news and even main news. Sam Kerr's being given massive titles and awards and recognition. Obviously she was voted second in Player of the Year in the FIFA vote recently as well. But they really are superstars back home in Australia, and they really have changed the game in the last 3 or 4 years. And that's something that I hope will happen with this team as well. It only takes one significant event to really change the mindset and the landscape of a sport. And we're really hoping that happens, in terms of football in the Philippines as well after this event.
Well, if there's a man to do it, that's you, Coach Allen Stajcic. Thank you once again for giving honor and country to honor to our country and of course pride. Thank you so much, Coach. Congratulations once again, and the best of luck for the team in the semis of the Asian Cup. Thank you, Coach Allen, and hope you can join us again next time. Stay safe, Coach. Thank you.
Appreciate your support. Thank you.
Stay away from Sidel. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I will. That's the first thing we do every day.
Coach, stay safe. Thank you. Again, we just had Philippine women's national football team head coach, Allen Stajcic.